Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. A couple of weeks ago I did a video about my Criterion Flash Sale haul, and that was definitely one of the more popular videos that I've done lately. So it's obvious that people want to see some more of that content, so I thought I'd make a quick video about some of the things that I picked up during the month of March. So the first pickup, you'll understand if you watched the video that I recently released. It's Master and Commander. I actually saw this, I think it was last year, but this popped up on Amazon for $6.99. I don't know whether it still is $6.99 or not, but I was like, $6.99 for the Blu Ray and a digital download, totally worth it, instant buy. So I love this movie. It's become one of my favorite movies of all time. I've watched it several times now, and it just was a no-brainer to go ahead and pick up, especially at that price. If you are interested in, knowing what some of that stuff is that goes on sale, the person that I follow that usually does post a lot of sale stuff on Twitter is Just the Discs. That's been a great resource to follow because he'll post, this is on sale for, $14.99, half off or 30% off or whatever. And that one I just happened to see on Amazon myself at $6.99 and grabbed it, but there's been a couple that I picked up because of Just the Discs. So next one up is one that's been sitting on my my wish list for a while, and the reason that I went ahead and bought it is because when you like a director and they release a film that maybe you're not but you're not super enthused about, but you love that director and you want to have all their stuff. So you're like, I'll get that one eventually. And then sometimes you don't get it and it goes out of print and you could have bought it for $15 or whatever. And then when it goes out of print, it's going for $100 on eBay. Well, this is one that I wanted to make sure that didn't happen with, especially because it was $10 on Amazon, and that's Richard Linklater's Everybody Wants Some. This is supposed to be the sort of a spiritual sequel, not a direct sequel, but a spiritual sequel to Dazed and Confused. And again, I like this film. I don't love it. I love Linklater, but I don't love everything that he's done. This one is good, but I just wanted to have it in my collection because I've been wanting to get all of his stuff, at least all the stuff that's available. So that's the second one. And then we've got one that has been banging around on my list for a really long time, and I kept meaning to buy it, and for some reason never got around to it. And it was one of those ones where it was this time it was an Amazon emailed me. They'll email you every once in a while and be like, hey, are you interested in this? Because it's on your wish list. And they'll do weird things where it's they'll have it on sale for an hour. I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but this particular film, they sent me an email about it and it was on sale for $7.99, and I was like, it ain't gonna get any cheaper than that. So I went ahead and bought it. And that's Fences, directed and starring Denzel Washington and starring Viola Davis. Both of them have two of the best performances of their careers in this film. I absolutely love it. Saw this in the theater and was just, it just got me right here, in the heart. And I actually, if you watch this, or if you have watched this channel, that I've done a list called 101 movies that Frank wants me to watch. Well, I made a list for Frank a while back, and I am going to start doing videos about that at some point in time this year. And Fences was one of the films on that list. Frank is a big Denzel Washington fan, and to be honest with you, I was pretty sure that he hadn't seen this, so I went ahead and put it on the list, and I'm glad to be able to own it. So that's number 3. Number 4 might be a little bit of a controversial one for some people. I know this was this was kind of a divisive film from last year, which I found odd because I feel like the director has never really made a divisive film. People either loved it or hated it. I personally loved it. It was one of my favorites of last year, definitely in my top 5, and that's Edgar Wright's Last Night in Soho. To me, And I will probably make a video about this at some point in time, but the short and lowdown of it is this film to me exhibits all of Wright's sort of like film knowledge and understanding of cinematic history. To me, this is Edgar Wright at his most like Tarantino-esque. This was Edgar Wright's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, to me. It showed his understanding of the history of, English thrillers, English horror films, and really sort of like, I don't know, I feel like, I love his movies, but I feel like I feel like Last Night in Soho is just on another level. And it's strange because I know a lot of my friends didn't like it, but I loved it. So I've been really wanting this, went ahead and picked it up, and super excited to look at it again. Next one up on the list is one that's definitely getting a video once it's done, because I'm trying to do videos about all of this company's films, but I've been kind of lax. So I'm going to start trying to, get those out again. And that is the Fun City Editions version of Bilitis. To be honest with you, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but it's if you're from my generation, you'll understand what this means, but it's basically like kind of like an old school French Skinamax film. So like when I was growing up, there was a cable channel called Cinemax, and late at night they would show like erotic movies, not like porn, but erotic movies, and that's kind of what this is. This is not normally something that I would pick up, but I have kind of been collecting Fun City Editions just because I feel like they've never steered me wrong. Everything that they've released, I've liked, except maybe like one or two things. I've been collecting all their stuff, so I went all in and got this one. If anybody knows how to pronounce that, you can leave it down in the comments. Next up, almost done. This was a huge surprise to me. This came up on Vinegar Syndrome's site, and if any of you follow Vinegar Syndrome and know Vinegar Syndrome, it's like they partner with a lot of different labels, and those partner labels go up on their site. And this one is from a label that I had never heard of called Collective, but the films on here I had heard of, and that is Dance Party USA and Quiet City. I actually had these on DVD. There was a double DVD from a company called Benton Films back in the day, and I had that. I made the mistake of getting rid of it when I did a big DVD purge like many years ago. I was one of those people. I was like, oh, everything's going to come out on Blu Ray, so I should just get rid of my DVDs while they're still worth something. And then like a ton of stuff that I got rid of, either never came out on Blu Ray or is only like now in the last couple of years coming out on Blu Ray. So this was something that I always regretted getting rid of, the DVD version of it. And it would pop up every once in a while on eBay, but I just, I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll wait and see if it ever comes out on, on HD Blu-ray, and it finally did. So I'm super excited about this. If anybody's interested, I'll be doing a series on Aaron Katz and on all 5 of his films. So that'll kind of fill you in a little bit more about those. But yeah, super excited about this. There's some special features too, where there's like interviews with Aaron and some of the cast members of the different films. So that's exciting because these, films like these were made very cheaply for the audience that existed at the time. This is when sort of like mumblecore and that kind of stuff was, South by Southwest was like the biggest thing in the world. And I was always a little worried that some of this stuff would just get lost in the mix. And I feel like some of it has, but it's really good to see, these 2 films get a release, and hopefully more of the independent cinema from this era will continue getting released. You know, Joe Swanberg and Andrew Bajowski and like all those guys and ladies. And, you know, we'll see. I don't know exactly what all Collective is doing, but maybe they'll be bringing some more of that stuff in there. And last but not least, save the biggest one for the end. That is this Hunger Games Best Buy Steelbook 4K Blu Ray box set. That's a huge, long thing to say, but I am a huge fan of this film series. I love it. I had been, you know, it feels like they were available on streaming all the time. So I sort of like never got around to buying the Blu-rays because they were just always available. And now I've gotten into kind of a mode where it's like, if I like something, I want to own it. Like, because you never know when things are just going to disappear, you know, off of streaming stuff. And even though this is like a big, you know, Hollywood studio film, and it'll probably always be available somewhere, it's just nice to know that like you have it. And that's the biggest reason why I wanted to buy this, was just to be able to have all of the films, know that I have them. One other reason is actually because I'm a huge fan of an illustrator that goes by the name of Tula Lote. And I may be mispronouncing that. I have a bunch of her prints, and she actually did some of the art for one of the films. This is Mockingjay Part 2. And I love her stuff. And if I can have it, you know, that's great. So that was another sort of like, almost like bonus reason for me to buy it. So that's it for this. If people are still interested in this kind of stuff, I'll keep making it. I recently bought some stuff on the Kino March into April sale. So whenever that arrives, I can make a video about that. And, you know, I continue to pick up stuff, you know, throughout the month. So if I get enough stuff that makes it like worthwhile to make a video of, I'll do that. I already know there's some like, I have some pre-orders that should be coming in, you know, in April and May. So looking forward to that. And yeah, I love physical media. Obviously there's a huge fan base for it here on YouTube. So again, like, you know, if you guys love this, I'll keep making them. You know, I hate doing the YouTube thing, but you got to do it. It's like, if you like it, leave a like. And if you can subscribe, please consider subscribing. It helps out a lot. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one.